Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Law, SOL, Postgraduate Diploma in Criminal Justice, PGDCJ. MLEO 15 Challenges to Criminal Justice System. Block -1 Legal Aid. Unit 1 Legal Services Authorities Act. 1.1 Introduction. Legal aid is considered as a helping hand to the poor defendants, vulnerable people in the prison, police custody and other downtrodden people. A democratic country running with full-fledged constitutional values. It is a mandate that no one shall be denied of his or her right to equality. Justice should not be denied because of the reason that he has no money in his purse. Therefore, state should strive to provide maximum help to the deprived and downtrodden class for achieving justice. Legal aid in the common parlance means the help providing by the state to the weaker members in the society to protect their rights. Justice Bhagwati rightly said that the legal aid means providing an arrangement in the society so that the machinery of administration of justice becomes easily accessible and is not out of reach of those who have to resort to it for enforcement of the rights given to them by law. The Law Commission in its 14th report has stated the importance of legal aid by saying that without legal aid, equality before law, an integral part of the rule of law, cannot be achieved. When we go through the developments of legal aid in India, it is visible that it has acquired some constitutional status since the preamble of the Indian Constitution itself provides achieving justice as one of the main components of the state. The Legal Services Authorities Act, 1987 is a central legislation enacted for constituting authorities providing legal aid in India. This legislation can be considered as a pathbreaker in the Indian legal system. 1.2 Objectives. The student who completed learning this unit should be able to. The objectives of the Legal Services Authorities Act. Legal aid through the Legal Services Authorities Act. The functions of the authorities under the Act. Utility of the Act in the present scenario. 1.3 The National Legal Services Authority. The Legal Services Authorities Act, 1987 was enacted in the light of Article 39A of the Constitution, which provides that the state shall secure that the operation of the legal system promotes justice on a basis of equal opportunity, and shall, in particular, provide free legal aid, by suitable legislation or schemes or in any other way, to ensure that opportunities for securing justice are not denied to any citizen by reason of economic or other disabilities. The legislative intention of the parliamentarians is clear from the statement of objects and reasons of the Act. The other important object of the Act is to create a three-tier system of authorities for the effective monitoring of the legal aid programs. The Act also intended to give statutory backing to the Lok Adalats, which was established in many states as a voluntary and conciliatory agency. The ultimate purpose of the Act is that to constitute legal services authorities to provide free and competent legal service to the weaker sections of the society, to ensure that opportunities for securing justice are not denied to any citizen by reason of economic or other disabilities, and to organize Lok Adalats to secure that the operation of the legal system promotes justice on a basis of equal opportunity. Though Article 39A of the Constitution is a directive principle, Parliament and judiciary equally gave importance to the article like a fundamental right and strengthened the article. In LL Vighasia vs. State of Gujarat, 1999-2, KLTSN 36, Supreme Court observed right to legal aid has become almost like a fundamental right. It is an important right backed by Constitution, and Legal Services Authorities Act, 1987 was enacted. Translating the spirit of Article 39A, legal aid is not merely a right of the needy and the deserving, but is correspondingly duty of the authority to make it available to the needy and deserving. In Supreme Court Legal Services Committee v. Union of India, 1998-5, Scale. SP. 19. Supreme Court gave some valuable directions to the authorities for the maximum efficiency of the functions of the authorities under the Act. The directions are as follows. 1. To ensure that every prisoner, convict is provided with free copy of the judgment of the Sessions Court or the High Court in her, his case or matter, within 30 days of the pronouncement of such judgment, and that the registry of the court concerned will personally endorse such copy to the Superintendent of the jail for forwarding the same to the petitioner. 2. The Superintendent of the jail concerned to ensure that the judgment of the Sessions Court or the High Court, as the case may be, is read out to the prisoner and explained to him in the language as understood by him. 3. The prisoner will be informed by the Superintendent of every jail about the availability of legal aid in the High Courts and the Supreme Court, and be asked whether he is desirous of exercising his constitutional right to avail of legal aid. 4. Every jail will have to provide at the cost of the state exchequer copy of Wakalatnama, pro forma affidavit in the form as required by the respective High Courts and the Supreme Court for being signed by the prisoner immediately upon expressing his intention to avail of legal aid. 5. The Superintendent of the jail will ensure that complete papers, records of the case are sent to the Supreme Court Legal Aid Committee or the High Court Legal Aid Committee along with the signed Wakalatnama and affidavit of the prisoner forthwith by registered post at the cost of state exchequer, and that if there is any delay in forwarding the papers, the reasons for forwarding the papers belatedly will accompany such papers. 6. That where the judgment of the Sessions Court and the High Court is in a language other than English, the Superintendent of the jail will at state's cost arrange to have the same translated before sending the papers to the Supreme Court Legal Aid Committee or the High Court Legal Aid Committee, as the case may be. The Section 3 of the Legal Services Authorities Act deals with the constitution of the National Legal Services Authority. As per this section, the central government has power to constitute a body known as National Legal Services Authority. The National Legal Services Authority shall consist of the following members. 1. The Chief Justice of India, who shall be patron-in-chief. 2. A serving or retired judge of the Supreme Court to be nominated by the President, in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, who shall be the Executive Chairman, and 3. Such number of other members, possessing such experience and qualifications, as may be prescribed by the central government, to be nominated by that government in consultation with the Chief Justice of India. There shall be a member secretary who shall be appointed by the central government in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, who is possessing such experience and qualifications as may be prescribed by the government to exercise such powers and perform such duties under the executive chairman of the central authority as may be prescribed by that government or as may be assigned to him by the executive chairman of that authority. The terms of office and other conditions relating to the member secretary and other members of the authority shall be prescribed by the central government in consultation with the Chief Justice of India. The other important feature of the authority is that the salary of the members of the authority shall be defrayed out of the Consolidated Fund of India. Section 3A of the Act empowers the national authority to constitute a committee known as the Supreme Court Legal Services Committee. The purpose of the committee according to this section is to exercise certain powers in performing such functions which may be determined by the regulations made by the national authority. The Supreme Court Legal Services Committee consists of the following members. 1. A sitting judge of the Supreme Court who shall be the chairman. And 2. Such number of other members possessing such experience and qualifications as may be prescribed by the central government, to be nominated by the Chief Justice of India. The Chief Justice shall appoint a person as secretary of the committee who has such experience and qualification as prescribed by the regulation framed by the national authority. The salary and other conditions of service of the members of the Committee shall also be prescribed by the central government in consultation with the Chief Justice of India. 1.4 The State Legal Services Authority. The next authority in the hierarchy is the State Legal Services Authority. Section 5 of the Act deals with the constitution of the State Legal Services Authority. The Act empowers the state government to constitute the State Legal Services Authority for each state to exercise the powers and perform the functions conferred on a state authority. The state authority shall consist of the Chief Justice of the High Court as the Patron-in-Chief, a serving or retired judge of the High Court as its executive chairman, and other members possessing such experience and qualifications as prescribed by the state government and nominated by the government in consultation with the Chief Justice. The state government shall, in consultation with the Chief Justice of the High Court, appoint a person who is not below the rank of a district judge as member secretary, and he may exercise such powers and duties under the executive chairman. The proviso further states that if there is any person functioning as secretary of the State Legal Aid and Advice Board immediately before the constitution of the authority, he shall be appointed as member secretary even though he is not qualified to be appointed as stated in the section for a period not exceeding 5 years. The terms and other conditions of the member secretary and other members shall be prescribed by the state government in consultation with the Chief Justice of the High Court. The state authority may also appoint officers and other employees in consultation with the Chief Justice of High Court. The state authority by virtue of Section 7A of the Act shall constitute a committee known as the High Court Legal Services Committee for every High Court. The committee shall consist of a sitting judge of the High Court as its chairman and such other members possessing such experience and qualifications to be nominated by the Chief Justice of the High Court. The committee shall appoint a secretary possessing such experience and qualifications. Point 5 District Legal Services Authority. Section 8 of the Act empowers the state government to constitute a district legal services authority for each district in consultation with the Chief Justice of the High Court. The district authority shall consist of the district judge as its chairman and other members possessing such experience and qualification who shall be nominated by the state government in consultation with the Chief Justice of the High Court. The state authority shall, in consultation with the chairman of the district authority, appoint a person not below the rank of a sub-judge or civil judge as secretary of the district legal services authority. Point 6 Taluk Legal Services Authority. The Section 11 of the Act provides for the constitution of the Taluk Legal Services Authority in each taluk or mandal or group of taluks or mandals. The committee shall consist of a senior judicial officer operating within the jurisdiction as the ex officio chairman and such other members possessing such qualification and experience. The committee may also appoint such number of officers and employees in consultation with the Chief Justice of the High Court. Point 7 Functions of the authorities. Now let us come to the functions of the National Authority. The functions of the National Authority are mentioned in Section 4 of the Act as follows. 1. Lay down policies and principles for making legal services available under the provisions of this Act. 2. Frame the most effective and economical schemes for the purpose of making legal services available under the provisions of this Act. 3. Utilize the funds at its disposal and make appropriate allocations of funds to the state authorities and district authorities. 4. Take necessary steps by way of social justice litigation with regard to consumer protection, environmental protection, or any other matter of special concern to the weaker sections of the society, and for this purpose give training to social workers in legal skills. 5. Organize legal aid camps, especially in rural areas, slums or labor colonies, with the dual purpose of educating the weaker sections of the society as to their rights as well as encouraging the settlement of disputes through lok adalats. 6. Encourage the settlement of disputes by way of negotiations, arbitration and conciliation. 7. Undertake and promote research in the field of legal services with special reference to the need for such services among the poor. 8. To do all things necessary for the purpose of ensuring commitment to the fundamental duties of citizens under Part 4A of the Constitution. 9. Monitor and evaluate implementation of the legal aid programs at periodic intervals and provide for independent evaluation of programs and schemes implemented in whole or in part by funds provided under this Act. 10. Provide grants in aid for specific schemes to various voluntary social service institutions and the state and district authorities, from out of the amounts placed at its disposal for the implementation of legal services schemes under the provisions of this Act. 11. Develop, in consultation with the Bar Council of India, programs for clinical legal education and promote guidance and supervise the establishment and working of legal services clinics in universities, law colleges and other institutions. 12. Take appropriate measures for spreading legal literacy and legal awareness amongst the people and, in particular, to educate weaker sections of the society about the rights, benefits and privileges guaranteed by social welfare legislations and other enactments as well as administrative programs and measures. 13. Make special efforts to enlist the support of voluntary social welfare institutions working at the grassroots level, particularly among the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes, women in rural and urban labor. And 14. Coordinate and monitor the functioning of state authorities, district authorities, Supreme Court Legal Services Committee, High Court Legal Services Committees, Taluk Legal Services Committees and voluntary social service institutions, and other legal services organizations and give general directions for the proper implementation of the legal services programs. Now let us come to the functions of the state authority. The functions of the state authority are as follows. 1. The state authority shall give effect to the policy and directions of the national authority. 2. To give legal service to persons who satisfy the criteria laid down under the Act. 3. To conduct Lok Adalats including Lok Adalats for High Court cases. 4. To undertake preventive and strategic legal aid programs. 5. To perform other functions entrusted by the state authority in consultation with the national authority. The functions of the District Legal Services Authority are as follows. 1. To perform the functions of the state authority in the district as delegated to it by the state authority. 2. To coordinate the activities of the Taluk Legal Services Authority and other legal services in the district. 3. To organize Lok Adalats and to perform other functions as the state authority may fix by regulations. The functions of the Taluk Legal Services Authority are 1. To coordinate the activities of legal services in the Taluk. 2. To organize Lok Adalats within the Taluk. 3. To perform such other functions as the district authority may assign to it. 1.8 Summary. Legal service to poor is the concept based on the principle of equal justice to all. The concept is deep-rooted in Article 14 of the Indian Constitution. The Legal Services Authorities Act is a comprehensive legislation. Multifarious functions are doing by the authorities constituted under the Act in connection with legal aid and other legal assistance programs. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with the next chapter.